Imagine this, it's 3 in the morning and your phone lights up the dark room, not with a mundane notification about a social media like or a news alert, but with a message from a source you haven't heard from in years, a contact buried deep in your phone simply labeled currency guy. The message is stark, just a single line. It's happening. The numbers are out. Check the forums. Now, your heart for a moment forgets to beat. There's only one that message could be referring to. You fumble for your laptop, the glow of the screen illuminating your face in the silent house, your fingers trembling slightly as you type in the web address for a private, encrypted forum you haven't visited in months, a digital ghost town where hope for the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong revaluation went to die a slow, quiet death. But as the page loads, you see it's not a ghost town anymore. It's a 5-alarm fire. The screen is a torrent of chaos, a waterfall of posts, time-stamped just minutes apart. Digital frenzy, the likes of which you haven't seen since the peak of the RV rumors a decade ago. Thread titles are screaming in all caps. Bien carsar talkagi. DORVI minen? This right here is the epicenter of the financial earthquake that began rocking the global currency world just a few hours ago, a massive shockwave emanating from the deepest, most guarded corridors of international finance, where unverified yet terrifyingly specific exchange rates for the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong have been leaked online, spilling into the public domain like a secret that was too big to contain. The leaked figures themselves are the stuff of legend, numbers that were once whispered only in the most optimistic of investor prayers. For the Iraqi Dinar, we're not talking about a slight bump to a few cents. The screenshots flooding the forums, allegedly sourced from a back-end terminal of a European banking consortium, show a potential new international exchange rate that would revalue the currency to a level that makes it globally competitive, effectively skyrocketing its value from its current state by thousands of times. Parallel to this, for the Vietnamese Dong, the leaked data points from Forex trackers indicate a similar, monumental shift, a deliberate and dramatic revaluation that would position the Dong not as a minor Asian currency, but as a significant player on the world stage. This isn't a random, isolated event for one struggling economy. This is a coordinated, synchronized monetary reform on a scale we have rarely, if ever, witnessed. The sheer audacity of two nations potentially launching their revaluations in tandem, a dual RV, is what has every insider and skeptic sitting bolt upright, their coffee gone cold, because the logistics of such a move imply a level of international cooperation and behind-the-scenes maneuvering that is absolutely staggering. Think about it. The Central Bank of Iraq and the State Bank of Vietnam operating in a seemingly choreographed dance, both reaching the final, critical stages of their multi-decade-long economic reform programs at the exact same moment. The probability is astronomically low unless it was by design. This points to a master plan, one likely orchestrated with the silent, powerful backing of the International Monetary Fund and key global economic players who have a vested interest in stabilizing and supercharging these two pivotal economies, creating a new financial axis in the East. The leaks, therefore, are not just numbers on a screen. They are the first cracks of light from a door that is about to be blown wide open. They are the digital smoke signals suggesting that the long-prophesied event is no longer a matter of if, but a matter of when, and that when appears to be now. The silence from the official channels is in itself deafening. No immediate denials, no frantic takedown notices on the leaked data, just a quiet, unnerving calm that feels more like the calm before the storm than business as usual. This is the hook, the moment the entire currency world has been holding its breath for, and the reason you are sitting in the dark, your world having shifted on its axis, staring at a screen full of numbers that promise to change everything. So now you're locked in, your eyes glued to that screen, the initial shock hardening into a single, burning question, is any of this actually real? Or are we all just witnessing the most elaborate and cruel hoax the currency community has ever endured? The sheer volume of the data leak is the first compelling clue that this isn't just a few forum trolls having a laugh. This is a targeted, multi-pronged information dump coming from several seemingly unconnected sources all at once, creating a chorus of corroboration that is impossible to ignore. Let's peel back the layers of this digital onion, starting with the most explosive source, the banking insiders. These aren't your local tellers. These are whispers from mid-level executives in compliance and international transactions departments within Asian and Middle Eastern banking giants. Individuals who are reporting a sudden, unprecedented flurry of internal memos and software updates specifically flagging the codes for the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong. They're talking about system-wide patches being pushed through in the dead of the night, updates that aren't scheduled maintenance but urgent, silent deployments aimed at preparing digital infrastructure for what is cryptically referred to in the logs as a paradigm shift event in Forex valuation. This isn't just rumor. This is the digital plumbing of global finance being actively retooled, and the plumbers are the ones sounding the alarm. Then layer on top of that the Forex data trackers, the autonomous algorithms and bots that scrape thousands of public and private financial data streams every second. These trackers, which usually provide dry, numerical feeds to institutional clients, have started throwing up massive red flags and anomaly alerts. They're detecting tiny, almost imperceptible test transactions, phantom trades that don't actually move money but are used by central banks to validate new exchange rates and settlement pathways before they go live. These test patterns for the dinar and dong, isolated and analyzed by forensic financial analysts now diving into this leak, show a stunning sophistication and alignment, suggesting that the back-end systems at the Central Bank of Iraq and the State Bank of Vietnam are not just being prepared, but are actively communicating, performing a digital handshake to synchronize their launch sequences. This is the why behind the coordinated dual RV theory. It's a technical necessity. Launching two such monumental revaluations separately would create chaotic, unpredictable waves in the Forex market. Launching them together as a single, managed economic event allows the IMF and global central banks to create a controlled, stabilized surge, a rising tide meant to lift all boats without capsizing any. And speaking of the IMF, their recent activity is the final, chilling piece of circumstantial evidence that gives this entire leak the ring of truth. Just last week, with almost no media fanfare, the International Monetary Fund quietly published a dense, technical paper on its internal portal about managing compound currency events in transitioning economies, a paper that uses Iraq and Vietnam as its primary unnamed case studies, discussing theoretical frameworks for liquidity injection and market stabilization in the event of a nonlinear valuation adjustment. This is the bureaucratic, dry language they use to describe exactly what we are seeing unfold right now. They've been planning for this. They have models, contingency plans, and playbooks ready to go. The leaks, therefore, are not the cause of this event. They are a symptom of it, the inevitable seepage of information from a system that is now so pressurized with impending change that it can no longer remain completely airtight. The cat, as they say, is out of the bag. The frantic posts on the forum, the panicked and excited messages, the screenshots and the decoded data streams, they are all just a human reaction to a machine that has already been set in motion, a financial countdown that has reached its final audible ticks. You are no longer just an observer. By virtue of having this knowledge, you are now a witness to history, watching the final pieces of a puzzle decades in the making click irrevocably into place, and the picture it reveals is more staggering than anyone dared to dream. And this is the moment where history splits into a before and an after, where the digital rumors and leaked data collide with the brutal, unforgiving reality of the global marketplace, and the most critical question shifts from "is this happening?" to "what in the world do I do now?" Because let's be brutally honest for a moment, the initial euphoria of seeing those numbers on your screen will evaporate faster than a drop of water in the desert the second you realize that this information, while potentially life-changing, is also a dangerous double-edged sword. The leaked rates, as exciting as they are, remain unverified. And that single fact is the minefield every single investor and currency holder must now navigate with extreme caution. This is the part of the story where fortunes can be made, but also where dreams can be shattered by the fine print and the predators who emerge from the shadows in times of chaos. Right now, as we speak, the digital underworld is already mobilizing. Phishing sites mimicking official banking portals are being registered by the minute, offering instant dinar to dollar conversion at these new rates designed to steal your login credentials and drain your accounts. A new wave of sophisticated social media scams is launching. Fake brokers and authorized agents pressuring people to sell their currency holdings prematurely, or even worse, to buy more at massively inflated prices from their guaranteed supplies, preying on the fear of missing out. You must understand that the official process, when and if this RV is activated, will not happen through a WhatsApp message from an unverified dealer or a link in a Telegram group. It will be announced through formal channels by the Central Bank of Iraq, the State Bank of Vietnam, and major international financial institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. Your first and most important job is to become a fortress of skepticism. Trust nothing until it is corroborated by at least 2 or 3 legitimate, established financial news sources. Do not click on any links promising early access or confirmation of the rates. Do not give your personal or financial information to anyone. The next 24 to 48 hours will be a whirlwind of misinformation, and your greatest asset is not the dinar or dong you hold, the patience and level-headedness you can maintain. Watch the official websites of the CBI and SBV like a hawk. Their news sections are your new Bible. Monitor the readers and Bloomberg News wires for any official statements from financial authorities. This is not the time to be a reckless gambler. This is the time to be a disciplined, stoic strategist. The potential reward is astronomical, but the risks have never been higher. The global financial system is like a sleeping giant, and this Dual RV is the alarm clock that is about to jolt it awake. You do not want to be caught standing directly under its foot when it stirs. You need to have a plan right now before the storm hits in full force. Decide in advance what your exit strategy will be. At what rate will you consider exchanging a portion of your holdings? Which reputable, established bank or currency exchange will you contact? Who is a financial advisor you can trust to give you clear-headed advice when everyone else is losing their minds? Write this plan down. This is your anchor in the coming chaos. The information has been leaked, the gears are in motion, and the world of currency is never going to be the same again. You are now part of a story that will be told for decades, the story of the night the numbers changed everything. But remember, the story's ending for you personally depends entirely on the decisions you make in these next critical hours. The opportunity is knocking louder than it ever has before. The only question that remains is whether you will open the door with a steady hand and a clear mind, or if you will be swept away by the frenzy. The power and the responsibility is now in your hands.